Choose your fighter. Slightly inspired. Fight.
Using a matrix method to solve matrix equations. Alright? And matrix equations would include simultaneous equations. Alright? Alright, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you the method. Alright? So let us say we have say let's say AW is equal to K. Find hold on. AX, right? AX is equal to B. Find X. That's the question. All right. So to find X, this is what we do. So AX is equal to B. So what we do here is that we divide both sides. So if I want X, what do I divide both sides by? It has to be A. Would you agree?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because what's going to happen with A? The A is on the left with what? We cancel out, don't you? The A is on the left will cancel out. So therefore, X is equal to P over, oops, what's happening on there? Is equal to P over A. I want you guys to start purchasing your graph book here. Yeah. So not B over C, P over A. All right, so start purchasing your graph book or graph paper, preferably a book. I prefer you probably make a book out of your graph paper, graph papers, that is. A long ruler, a pencil, an eraser. All right. So soon and very soon, I will be focusing on a lot of graphs, like statistics. You have graphs, histogram, frequency polygon, line graph, that kind of thing. All right, so everything about graphs we're going to look at. All right, so X is equal to B over A. All right, so if A, X, and B represent matrices, we couldn't use this method. So if A, X, and B represent matrices, the above method would be null and void. So we couldn't use that method if they represent what? Matrices. All right. Now, if A, X, and B are matrices, no, then how do we approach solving X? All right. So below is the matrix method. All right. So then I'm gonna use the same A, X, and B, right? But guess what, no? A, X, and B represents what? Matrices. So for example, A will be a matrix, X will be a matrix, B will be a matrix. Everybody following? Any questions? All right. Any questions so far? All right. So basically, we're going to use a matrix method. This is the matrix method, right? So the first thing that we're going to do is that we need to find. All right. Yeah, we need to find A inverse. That's number one. All right. Another thing that we need to remember. So we need to remember. Sorry about that. We need to remember that A times A inverse is equal to I. All right. We also remember that A times I is equal to A. So we need to remember two things: that A times the inverse gives you I, and that A times I gives you back A. All right. And what does I represent, class? Anybody remembers? Anybody studying? What does I represent? Oh, what is I, by the way? How does it look? One, 0, 0, 1. That's I, not true? And you guys remember when you multiply I times anything, it gives you back the what? The same thing. And last week we also showed you that the matrix, the original matrix times its inverse gives you I. All right. Any questions? All right. To be frank with you, I remember last week, near to the end, not a lot of person was in the class, probably less than 10 persons. So I don't know what happened. All right. All right. So then no. So remember, we need to find X. All right. So we need to find X. So then no. Write about my equation. So guys, we can't use this method, don't you? We can't use that method. But this method only works if A, X, and B are integers. All right. So for example, 2x is equal to 6. What is x equal to, class?
3.
3. Right. But guess what, no? A, X, and B are not regular letters. They represent what? Matrix. All right. So this is the method now. So right now, this is the matrix method. So come with me, walk with me now. Please remember that if you're not following, you can always ask. All right. Don't sit there sinking in the problem and melting away. All right. Just you have to just learn how to be flexible in these times, because time is precious, not true? Yeah, man. You have to make make good use of it. That's true. All right, and sometimes you have some trust me, you have some really nice videos out there. It can help you. I'm sure if I go on YouTube right now and type in solving a simultaneous using a matrix method, you see some nice videos. All right. So what we do now is that we pre-multiply both sides by A inverse. All right. So basically, we're gonna write this down here. So I'm gonna pre-multiply both sides by A inverse. So let me try to color this up a little bit. A inverse. Let me put A inverse here again. All right. Why is that? So I pre-multiply both sides by what? A inverse. Now, what did I say up here, so? We need to know, or we need to remember. Remember that what? A times A inverse gives us what class? What the rest of my numbers I say? I. Yes. It's the same thing now, yes or not true? Look at this. Well, this is A inverse A, but A inverse A and A times A inverse is the same thing. All right, so all of this right here, so is equal to, would have been equal right here, so class would have been equal to what? I. All right, and if you understand, say I. No.
How about that part there one more time, sir?
All right.
A in AX equal B, and you pre-multiply both sides by A inverse.
Right. All right, let me tell you, pre-multiply just means I just add on A inverse to both. You just drop it in.
Repeat that, sir.
Pre-multiply just means that you just drop in A inverse. You just multiply. So for example, look, suppose I have 5. Suppose I have 5 plus y equals 7. And I ask you to pre-multiply both sides by 3. What's going to happen? It's going to be 3. 3 times 3 times everything.
Okay.
That's what it means, you know. That's what it means. All right. Maybe the word pre-multiply is thrown you off. Let me tell you, that's the vocabulary they use. You see. So I didn't want to say multiply both sides. I'm trying to use the vocabulary they use when explaining this. All right. And the reason being that you might go in the exam and see the word pre-multiply, and I wonder what's the rata about. So I have to keep on telling the proper thing so you understand. But pre-multiply and well, what does pre mean? What does the prefix pre mean? Those are you language.
Before.
Before. For example, give me 3 words that's pre.
Premeditated.
Meditated.
Premature.
Premature. Right. Let me see. I can't think of one. Prenuptial. Prenuptial agreement. Not true.
Premolars.
No, you're correct. Premolars. Yeah. It's before the molars. Yeah. Yeah.
And only adults have those.
Right. Right. So, right. So 3 multiply just means that you what? You just multiply both sides by A inverse. All right. And last week we also proved that what? A times A inverse gives us what? I. All right. So if you look at this, this is A inverse times A. A inverse times A and A times A inverse means the same thing. So therefore, I replace all of this with what? I. All right, and then I drop in the what? Drop at X equals A inverse B. All right, now what did I say up here, son? What is A times I? What's A times I? What do you get back? The original thing, not true. We proved that last week, right? So any matrix times I will give you back what? The same thing. All right. So for example, B times I would give us back what? B. All right. L times I will give us back what? L. So therefore, what is I times X?
I.
No man. No man. It wouldn't be I. It wouldn't be I. Remember, I is the 1, 0, 0, 1. You wouldn't get back that. You'll get back the other matrix. So I times X will give us back what? X.
X.
All right. Any questions? Remember, you have to read over your notes. You know, you have to read over your notes and come class prepared. All right. All right. All right. So basically, we end up with what you notice? We keep on writing about this thing here. So that's it. That's the answer. So once you have A inverse B, A inverse B, A inverse B, so X is equal to what? A inverse B. That's our answer. That is the what? The matrix method. All right, let us look at the question. By the way, any questions? Anybody want to explain this again for the third or fourth time? Are we good? All right. Let us call this step 1. This will be what? Step 2. And this will be what? Step 3. All right. Here's a fun part now. Let's actually look at the question. All right, so let's look at an example. All right, so given that, All right, so all right, so 10, -1, 0, and 5. All right, so use a matrix method. Find the values of M, N, and P. All right, so please pay attention here. All right, so this is our question, right? Now, do you realize that what we have here is very similar to what we have up here? So, all right, so basically, we can call right here, so A. We can call this one what? A. We can call this, what we can call this one? X. And what's the last one, class?
B.
Yes, B. So if you look, so basically we're gonna say A represents this matrix here, X represents this matrix, and B represents this matrix. All right. So according to my steps, what's the first thing that we need to do? What does step 1 says?
Pre-multiply.
Thank you very much. We pre-multiply both sides by what? A inverse. So we need to find what? A inverse, not true? All right. Hold on, Justin. Come on. All right, sorry about that. Okay. All right, so yes, as I was saying, we need to find the inverse of A. All right. So class. So we need to find. So look back in the notes. How do we find the inverse of A or A inverse? Anybody can relate?
You find the determinant.
Thank you very much. Very good. So, by the way, we use a formula too. Can you tell us a formula?
AB minus BC. A times B minus B times C.
All right. Well, give me the general one. It's one. It's actually 1 over the what? Determinant. By the way, what's another way of writing determinant? There are two ways of writing determinant.
The two thing in the on the bottom.
Right. Right. Very good. Multiply by the adjoint. Remember that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Now another word for adjoint is transpose. All right. So can you go ahead for me? All right. You know what? Let me do this one for you guys. So determinant, that's determinant, true, is equal to, how to find determinant, class? We multiply what? It is a product of the what? The leading diagonal, all right, times what? The product of the what?
Non-leading.
The non-leading, right. I must say, let's go and study, man. I must say, when you get these notes, you know, you have to, let me tell you, if you do 3 hours of maths, you need to do 6 hours of maths. And you use YouTube videos and back it up. You know? All right, so it's -2 times 4. Subtract the product of the other non-leading diagonal, which is 1. 1 times what? 4. All right. Okay, what's -2 times 4? It is
-8.
very good. Brilliant. Awesome. What's 1 times 4? 4. Very good. What about this? What is that, guys? Class? Subtract 8, subtract 4.
4.
-12.
It will be -12.
See, negative.
You owe Mr. Brown $8. You owe Mr. Brown what? $4. Not true. So you owe Mr. Brown a total of $12. So the determinant is -12. So we just found the first part of this. All right, and the other part is kind of easy. So A inverse is equal to what? 1 over the what? Determinant. So it's 1 over what? -12. Multiply by its adjoint. All right, let me see who has studied now. Let me see who going to pass the exam. I want someone to tell me what is the adjoint. Who can tell me what the adjoint of A is? Look back in your notes, man. Pretty simple.
So yeah, go do
4.
the thingy.
4.
Mhm.
4
Then
negative
switch up the negative
Positive.
with the
Very good. What about this one up here, sir?
change the sign, sir, so that gonna be negative one.
Negative
And-
4.
And
Negative
go remain.
And negative 4. You know what some, let me tell you what some students do, because you know when you exam you're under a lot of pressure. What happen is that sometimes what they do, they'll remember to flip the leading diagonal, and what they will do is to flip the other one and change the sign. Yeah, so be careful. So this represents what? A inverse. All right. Now, are we going to multiply the 1 over 12 times? No, you don't leave it like that. There, don't trouble it like that. Just leave it like that. What you can probably do, well, leave it like that. I was just saying, boy, it's open negative. You could actually get rid of this negative, but just leave it like that. So let's go back to the main question now, guys. Step 1 says what? You pre-multiply both sides by what? A inverse. That's step 1, you know. All right. Well, I mean, this part and this part is the same thing. It's just that, you know. All right, you know, let me take it out from right here. So let me put it right here. All right. So we pre-multiply both sides by what? A inverse. Do we know what A inverse is, class? Yes, we just work it out. All right. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to go back to this. And then we're going to drop in what? A inverse on the what? On the left side. And also A inverse on the what? The left side. So this becomes this. You guys see that? So all of this is what? A inverse. And then another one, A inverse. Any questions? All right. Any questions? Okay.
Okay.
You sure? All right. Then no. You see this? What can I do here? So this, can this work? Right. All of this is what? A inverse times A. Would you agree with me, class? This is A, right? That's A. And all of that is what? A inverse. What is A inverse times A?
A.
A times A inverse or A inverse times A will give us what? What the rest of the animals say?
I.
I. So all of this is what? I. All right. And what is I? What is I?
100.
1001. Right. And what's the name for I? What's it called? Apart from I. It is a multiplicative identity, not true. Means anything you multiply that by, you'll get back what? The original matrix. Alright? So, I know I have it somewhere up here. Right, sit I here. That's I, and you don't need to work it out here. You don't need to, well, the thing about it, for this particular question, you don't need to work it out. That's what I'm saying. All right. So we get I multiplied by this matrix here. Equal all of this, not true? Remember in this thing here, we notice A inverse B, A inverse B, A inverse B. All right, but really and truly, class, you guys realize that to find X, we just multiply A inverse times B? Yes. All right. All right. So what is I? This is I, not true. What is I times this matrix here? What would it give you? Yes, Tyrone, it's been recorded. All right. What is I times any matrix, class?
The original.
The original. And what's the original matrix for this one? It will be the what? The M, the N, O, and P. All right. And then know what? We're just asked to work this out, don't you? So I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a very long question here. All right, so we have these two matrices, so we're gonna multiply them what? Row by column. Are you able to do that? Are you able to multiply these two matrices? Let me try to get rid of this color here. All right, so look back in your notes. See, I'm gonna give you 3 minutes. To tell me what number will go right here, because we have done 1,000,000 multiplications. All right, so multiply these two matrices for me, please. Look back in your notes. How do we multiply matrix, class? There's an acronym.
Row by column.
Right, row by column. Right. Just flip away your note, man, and just look for matrix multiplication. All right. I'm not gonna lie to you. You realize I open negatives in here, don't you? So it might be a bit tricky, but just be careful. All right. All right, so I stepped away a while ago, so if you were talking to me or asking me anything. Anybody finish? We need more time? All right. All right. Anybody want to tell me what they got for the first one? It should be 40. All right. The first one.
-9.
Which one? The one on the right?
Yes.
Let me check. -4. It's actually -9.
That's what I said, sir. -9.
Oh, that's a -1. What about the other
No,
one?
I said -9. 40 and -14.
No, it's not. It's not 40.
-40.
Right, it's -40.
Oh.
The other one. What's the other one?
-6.
-6.
-6. Very good.
So me do wrong this one.
All right. So let me try to illustrate what's happening. Just in case. All right. So basically, the first one is 4 times 10 plus -1 times 0, but -1 times 0 is a 0. So 4 times 40 plus 0 is 40.
Right.
So, right, so that's how we got the first one. Are we clear on that one? Any
Yes,
questions?
sir.
All right, very good. The one over here now, the -9, so it's 4 times -4, which is what? -4. And then 1 times -1 times 5 is what? -5. So remember, we're adding, not true. So it's -4. A positive and a negative give you a negative. Your O and your O. Your O, 9. All right. And this one, though, it's going to be -4 times 10, which is negative what? 40. Plus -2 times 0, which is just 0. So it's just -40. All right. Any questions? Anybody? Any questions you want to ask? Is there anything unclear? All right. Okay. So the other one is going to be -4 times -1, which is +4. All right. Plus -2 times 5, which is -10. But a positive and negative will give you a negative. So 10 from 4, or 4 subtract 10 is -6.
You know what happened to me, sir? Because I didn't see the -4 right here. I thought it was a +4. That's what happened to me.
Oh, you mean at the bottom here, so?
Yes, sir.
Okay, probably because the thing was a bit close. That could be a reason. Let me do that. All right. Then no, what do you think we're going to do now? We're going to multiply 1 over negative 12 times all elements inside the matrix. And you're basically done right here, so. You're on the road. That is where you'll get your salvation. All right, let me just do this just for ease. So you have this. All right, so then now we just cancel. All right. Well, we can probably use a calculator here. So this is actually 40 divided by what? Negative 12. So 40 divided by negative 12 is negative 3.3. So this one is negative 3.3. Over here, two negatives when divided. Yes?
So what if I have negative 3 and 1/3?
Same thing.
I write it just like
Same
that.
thing.
No.
Same thing, right? Right? You could actually break it down, you know. Because when you break it down, you could use
Guys,
2.
you could say 4 into
Right. 4 to
12
40
goes
and 4 to
10.
12. Right.
10 over 3.
Right. So you could have a variations of answers. For example, I probably, you know what? Let me probably do that way. So as a fraction, so this would when you break it down, you could use 4. So that's 3. And that's what? 10 over 3? Everybody see that? Well, it will be negative, not true? And then this one now, would be 9 over 12. You could use 3. So 3 into 3 goes, sorry, 3 into 9 goes what? 3. And 3 into 12 goes what? 4. And the two negatives give you a positive. All right. This one will also be 10 over 3, positive 10 over 3. Wait, oh, like that. Oh. So this one is what? 10 over 3. And the last one will be a half. And you can get the decimal equivalent, right? But essentially, m, what m is equal to no, class?
Ten
10
over
over
negative
right.
3.
M is equal to this. N is equal to what? 3 over 4, etc., etc. Don't you? And P is equal to a half. There you go. I'm not going to tell you, it's a pretty long question, not true?
Sir, up the top there didn't write down some of the things because you were going too fast. I couldn't write while you were teaching.
All right. So you want to write it now? You're talking about this
Yes,
part?
sir.
Talking about this part?
Go up a little further, sir.
There?
Yes, sir.
You guys want to try one now? All right, I'm going to give you one to try, but I'm going to make it a little bit, I'm going to make it a bit easier for you. Or easier. All right, let me know when you finish here,
Yes, sir.
because I don't think persons would have finished right off at the bottom there also.
Don't get the bottom part
Yeah,
yet.
I know.
Finish now, sir.
All right, so let me see if I can. All right, everything should be there now. So these are the answers. All right, so let me know when you're finished, when you guys are through. We will look at a question and give it a try. All right, always stay now. All right, can I move on? All right, no response, so you have finished by now. All right. Okay, let's try this one. So class activity. All right, so let me just, I'm gonna try to make this as easy for you, all right? Let me just show in everything. Don't write anything as it here, class. I need to change up some numbers. All right. Hold on there. All right, so try this for me, please. All right, would 7 minutes be okay for you? All right, so let us. I hope you guys read somewhere. Can someone tell me what you got for the determinant of A?
-5.
All right. You said -5, right? Anybody's get anything different?
I got -1, sir.
I have negative
Yes, it is
one.
negative.
That's what I have.
It is -1. It is -1. All right. So sorry about that.
Get me.
It would mean the entire question will be incorrect. So sorry about that. But you'll get marks for procedure.
Me I say everything
All right.
wrong, you know.
What did you got for your determinant?
-1.
Why is it wrong?
No, when you said -5.
No, I didn't say that. A student said that. Yeah. No, when I asked what the answer was, someone responded. All right. Okay, so step number 1 is that we're going to pre-multiply both sides by A. Well, first of all, let's find A inverse. Let's get out of the way. So we agree that this one is what? A, right? So let us go one side. All right, let me just do it right here. So therefore, A. By the way, it doesn't have to be A. It could be any letter. So A inverse is 1 over the determinant, right? So let us work out the determinant first before anything. Let us work out determinant first, all right? So determinant is A. So you're going to multiply the leading diagonal, which is 1 times -3. Subtract the product of the non-leading diagonal, which is 2 times -1. All right. So therefore, we have, well, the first bracket, the product of that will be what? -3. And these two negative here, when multiplied, will give us a positive. 2 ones 2. And -3 plus 2 is -1. All right, and that's how they got. That's what the determinant is, -1. All right. So therefore, A inverse is equal to 1 divided by the determinant. All right, so it's 1 divided by -1 multiplied by its what? Its adjoint. As you know, it's what? -3.
-2. 1.
Negative 2,
2
1.
and
And
1.
1. All right, class, what do I do with this fraction here? Isn't that really negative 1? Am I correct? What's 1 divided by negative 1? Negative 1, not true. So what I'm going to do is, because it's a whole number, let us multiply it. It's not a fraction, so let's multiply the negative 1 times everything inside. And then we'll get what?
The
We'll
same
get
thing.
positive 3. We'll get what? Positive 2. But we'll get what? Negative 1 down here, and we'll get what? Negative 1 down here. So A inverse is just this. That's what A inverse is.
So, sir, if you work it out with the 1
All right.
over the negative
Okay,
1.
let me tell you. If you could also just leave it as it is. This 1 over negative 1, leave it as it is and continue working with it. Or you can do it this way. But I think this is actually just less stressing on you. What did you do? Did you leave it like this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So okay, so no problem, because that is what you're used to. All right. So let's we can work with this. Nothing is wrong. You will end up with the what? The same answer. But at one point, you're going to have to recognize that 1 divided by negative 1 is just negative 1. All right?
Right.
All right.
Yes,
So
sir.
we will proceed with what the majority was using. So anyone will work. All right. So then now, let's get back to this. So we're going to pre-multiply both sides by A inverse. All right? So let's go to this. So this is A inverse. So let's drop it right there. And let's drop it right there. Let me see if I can get rid of these colors. All right. So we know that all of this is what? What the Rastaman say?
I.
All right.
1001.
Those Rastamen are very innovative with words, It's 1 0 0 1. All right, and then you write back this. And then we notice. This is a little big. What do you notice, class? Is all of this? You just keep on writing it back. You notice that? You just keep on writing it back. Something. All right, that's an equal. And I times A, B, C, D will give you back the original, which is what? A, B, C, D. Everybody following so far?
Yes, sir.
All right, so it's all about practice. And then now we just work this out. All right, what did you do? What did you do? You multiply this, and then the last thing you do is this?
Yes, sir.
All right, no problem. No, listen to me. That is how I taught you the truth. So I mean, nothing. You won't get it wrong. You won't get it wrong. It's just that if you get something like this now, you'll just do that, and you realize, boy, all of this baggage over here, so you don't have to write. All right. So when you multiply this now, what do you get? What's the first answer there?
I got negative 12 and negative 2, 5 and 1.
So you got negative 12 2. Hold on, let me get a space there.
I said -2, sir.
Oh, you got. Oh, yeah.
Class, if I'm gonna help me out now, not sure if I'm right.
Yes, that's what I got.
And this is what? 5
And 1.
and 1. And then no. And then no. Oops, hold on. Right, then no, you just multiply this, right? So this, then no, this will be just 12, right? Am I correct? Because this is -1, you know. So -1 times -12 is just +12. And that will also be what? +2, -5. -5 and -1. All right, and you basically finish. All right, so A is actually what? 12. B is actually what? 2. C is actually
Time to get 0.
-5. No. No. Remember say it's row by column, you know. Remember say it's -3 times 2. -3 times 2 is -6. And then plus -2 times 3 again, which is also what? -6. What a positive and a negative here will give us a what? A negative. So you owe and you owe 12.
Oh, but never put the negative there, so put the 3.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Right, and D